What I'm going to do is demonstrate a clean installation of R with RStudio and Bioconductor. So R is the basic statistics package. RStudio is an integrative development environment, so a tool to help you use R, which is a programming language and statistical environment. And then Bioconductor is a set of tools and packages that you can add into R, which allow you to do bioinformatics analysis. So the first thing you need to do is get R. Now, actually, I should state this first. So it's slightly different in the way you do it for Linux and for Mac as compared to Windows. The hardest installation is for Windows because it requires extra files that are not needed for Linux and Mac. So the first thing I need to do is download the binary, the executable, the actual installation of R, which will work and run on Windows. So I need to download it. Once it's downloaded, I can double click on it and I can execute the installation as usual. I want it in English because I'm going to work in English. I'm happy with the licensing agreement. I'm going to change this to install it on my E drive. I would strongly suggest not changing this unless you really know what you're doing. I want everything that it's suggesting by default. I don't really care about the startup because I'm using RStudio, and it doesn't matter what group it's called on the start menu, so R is fine because that's what it is. So that's completed the installation of R. Now, the extra bit that you need to do for Windows that you don't need to do for other computer systems is this Rtools. So Rtools is needed so that you can build some of the extra packages and the extra features that we want to use within R, particularly the bioinformatics features. R 4.4 is the development version, which means it's not in a fixed state and it's not completely ready for release, so it's likely to have some bugs in it. So I'll stick with the Rtools 4.3 version and grab the installer. Now notice it says here to keep it in C Rtools 4.3, so we'll do that. So we'll download that thing and then I'm going to install it on my C drive. So it's completed the downloads and I can see Rtools in my downloads folder. Double click it again. Approve the security and then install it. And I'm going to leave that in the C directory. So that's all fine. I don't care about changing of the setup values. It's quite important not to change any of the setup values unless you really know what you're doing for this. Now this is quite a long process because there's a lot of files to unpack, so I'm just going to pause the recording while it's finishing this off. Okay, so that's finished its setup and I can finish that one. So the last thing that I need is RStudio. So I can go to RStudio and I've already downloaded and installed R, so I can now download RStudio, which is a fairly small program compared to Rtools. So double click on this and complete this installation. Again, I'm going to change this one to running in the E folder on my E drive and not my C drive. Once RStudio is installed, all of the rest of the installation processes actually happen within R itself. So you're telling R where to find new libraries and new tools and new packages that it can use. These are like add-ons in computer games, downloadable content. Things that you can add which make it do precisely what you want it to do. So what I need to do is open RStudio, which is down here. I need to open RStudio. So this is the console where I type in my commands. Here is an environment, so saying there's nothing inside R at the minute. And here is a window which I've got currently set to the packages thing to show you. These are the basic tools that are available within R, but you can add lots more to them. So the first ones we want to add are the bioinformatics tools, which come from Bioconductor. So Bioconductor contains a large number of tools, many thousands, so 2,266 tools. And first thing you need to do is get started. So the first thing after you've installed R, which is what we've done, is you need to install the Bioconductor Manager. So I'm going to take this command, so Control-C it, go into the console on the other in RStudio and paste it, and then press return. So what that does is it installs the Bioconductor Manager. You can see here that you've got an extra package that's been added there called the Bioconductor Manager. So from now on I can use Bioconductor Manager to install programs from Bioconductor.